when we look at just game planning and scheming things up, Micah Parsons is going to be a chess piece for this Green Bay Packers defense, and they're going to utilize that chess piece on Thursday against the Washington Commanders, and they're going to attack whatever weakness they can find on that offensive line. So let's move on to our preview for the Commanders and the Green Bay Packers on Thursday Night Football. This is an interesting matchup because I think the weakness that the Green Bay Packers have is I'm not a big fan of what they have in the secondary. I know they have Xavier McKinney out there, and he's fantastic. Kayshawn Nixon, good player. But like when I look at the rest of that secondary, and you look at like Carrington Valentine, like he's a player that their fan base is very excited about. But I mean, I got to see it for a full season before I'm like, yeah, that guy's a legitimate player. I think that the Commanders can attack the secondary. And when you look at how the Packers were able to beat the Lions and get pressure on the Lions, it was interior pressure. And when you have a guy like Jared Goff, who when he faces interior pressure, he's a non-factor. That's something that I think you need to take into consideration. But when Jaden Daniels, when he faces interior pressure, he's not a flat-out liability. He can escape the pocket. He can make plays down the field with his arms. He can get extra yards with his legs. So that's where I find this a bit interesting. But where I think Green Bay has the massive, and I mean massive advantage, their offense is going to put points on the board against that Commanders defense. And can the Commanders offense put up the type of points that they need to against that Green Bay defense for them to win this game? I don't believe they can. I think that the Packers defense, it's a good defense. I don't know how good of a defense it is just yet, but I think it's a good defense. It has the potential to be an elite defense. I don't see that with the Washington Commanders. And when you look at the Commanders secondary, obviously they have Marshawn Lattimore, Sanistrell, Trey Amos, the rookie. Like, I feel confident that the Green Bay Packers can move the ball on that defense. Though I think they'll be able to hold up in protection. Jordan Love will have time to throw. He'll be able to get it to his playmakers. And this is a team in the Green Bay Packers. Remember this. The Dallas Cowboys lost to the Green Bay Packers in the 2023 playoffs. They also lost to the Green Bay Packers in the 2022 season. Who was the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys? It was Dan Quinn. Now, obviously, there's Joe Witt Jr. over there with the Commanders. But who was Joe Witt Jr. with before he got to the Commanders? The Dallas Cowboys. So, when I look at that, Matt LaFleur has a good pulse on how to deal with Dan Quinn defenses. And when you look at the Green Bay Packers and their ability to run the ball, I think they'll be effective in that. I think they'll be able to build play action off that. They're going to get it to their guys, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden. They have a lot of talent there. Tucker Kraft. I think offensively, it's just going to be too much for the Commanders to keep up with them. And when you look at the Commanders' offensive line, are there weak spots on it? For sure, right? That Micah Parsons can go after. When I look at, the interior of that offensive line with Brandon Coleman, now second-year player playing left guard, Tyler Biotic. You have the rookie Josh Connerly. Like, even if you don't want to attack Laramie Tunsil, you still have a rookie on the right side. They can line Micah Parsons up over there, and it's going to be a very, very long night for Jaden Daniels. Because Micah Parsons, to me, is the best defensive player in football. Me personally, that's just the way I feel. And, it's just a little bit of a side note. It is funny because I made a video last week saying that the Green Bay Packers overpaid for him. And I still do believe in that take. Packers have to win a Super Bowl for that trade to really, to me, be worth it, right? When you give up that type of capital, you got to win a Super Bowl. But when we look at just game planning and scheming things up, Micah Parsons is going to be a chess piece for this Green Bay Packers defense. And they're going to utilize that chess piece on Thursday against the Washington Commanders. And they're going to attack whatever weakness they can find on that offensive line, just like they were able to do it in Dallas. Now, interesting story line about this as well. Who was Micah Parsons' defensive coordinator when he was in Dallas? It was Dan Quinn. Who's the head coach of the Washington Commanders? Dan Quinn. It's interesting, man. This is an interesting game, not just because of the talent that's on the field for both of these teams, but because of the storylines going into it. It's going to be interesting to see how, what type of intel Dan Quinn can give to Cliff Kingsbury in terms of attacking the best player on the Green Bay Packers defense. That's going to be very interesting to me. It's going to be interesting how Matt LaFleur uses what he's seen from Dan Quinn's defenses in Dallas and uses that in his game plan for this game on Thursday night. A lot of interesting storylines. And you have two quarterbacks who are, Jordan Love is in his third year as a starter. Jaden Daniels is in his second year in the NFL, obviously second year starter. Quarterbacks that are young but talented, even though I think Jaden Daniels is for sure a better quarterback than Jordan Love, just because I love the consistency that I see from Jaden Daniels compared to Jordan Love, where I just don't think he's that consistent at all. He's actually not consistent. But when I look at this game, I think this is going to come down to Green Bay's defense is going to be able to move the ball on the Washington Commanders defense. Packers offense, I might have said defense, but Packers offense will be able to move the ball, I think, all night on this Commanders defense. And I think the Commanders can move the ball a little bit on this Packers defense, but I think it's just going to be too much. I think that the Packers are a much more talented football team than the Washington Commanders. I'm still not super high on the Commanders. I'm going to be honest with you. I know they beat the Giants the other day, but I mean, and I do give them credit because I will be honest with you. I will always own my bad takes. I had the Washington Commanders finishing fourth in the division behind the New York Giants. I'll own up to that bad take. Commanders are clearly a better team than them. But I'm still not sold on the Commanders. And I'm not sold on the Packers as a Super Bowl contender type team. But am I sold on them as a legitimate contender in the NFC? Yeah. And I'm not sold on the Washington Commanders as that. So I think because of the talent that Green Bay has, because of the fact that they have coaches on both sides of the ball who can really scheme it up, and when you look at Washington, they do have some pieces there, but as a complete and whole team, I don't think that they're there. I don't think they're on the Packers level. And let me just double check where this game is being played. I'm sorry, this is bad radio. They're playing in Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay's going to win this game. I got Green Bay winning this game 31-17. I don't think it's going to be close. I think that's the difference between Green Bay and Washington. And when you're playing at home, yeah, that's going to be difficult for them.